Everybody, welcome to Thursday Night's Livewell here at Fish, North Georgia. We are glad that you are going to be joining us tonight, or again, if you're one of those that watch it at a later date, hey, we appreciate you guys too. Thanks for tuning in on YouTube. And again, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and click that notification bell, and make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, the Facebook group page, our Instagram, TikTok. Do we got any more, Ryan? Did I miss anything? It's been a while since I've been here.
Patreon.
Well, the Patreon, and we'll talk about the Patreon here in a little bit. I got that down in my notes. So, again, hey, guys, seriously, though, glad to be back. Glad to be able to talk to you and just spend a couple hours with you talking fishing and, what's going on out there. I know it's been kind of dreary here in North Georgia lately, but for some guys, the fishing is really firing up. For others, they're kind of struggling. So maybe we can help you a little bit with that tonight. And we got a great guest tonight making his second appearance with us, Mr. Robert Robleski.
Yep.
I said it right. I wrote it down. Listen, I put Ro, bless, and then ski. So I absolutely got it right. I got it right. So, but again, hey, we got a great episode for you. But again, as always, we like to start this by thanking our sponsors. All right, and now we're going to start off with Buford Dam Bait and Tackle at 2595 Buford Dam Road in Cumming, Georgia, guys. If you're down in the Lake Lanier area, this is a shop you've got to go to. They've got everything you want, whether it's live bait fishing for your stripers and stuff like that with the herring and all that. Anything bass related, they've got trout stuff for those of you who like to go down below Buford Dam right out there. They've got a couple of new baits in that they really wanted to kind of talk about. The Shimano Flash Boost. Okay, everybody knows that's a hot little bait. They've got it in two different sizes and a lot of great colors. They've got those in stock. Hey, that's a bait we highly recommend. Make sure you go pick you up some. And they got the new Cali Glide swim baits. All right, for you guys who like to throw big swim baits, they got it in the 6-inch and the 9-inch. So you definitely want to go down there and stock up on those. Dave, Allen, and the guys, hey, absolutely fantastic people, great customer service. They're just like us. I always say that. They take care of the customer. They're going to sell you what you need, not what they want you to have. All right, so they're going to set you up right. So make sure you go to Buford Dam Bait and Tackle for all your fishing gear and baits down on the south side of Lake Lanier. So great guys, and we just absolutely thank the world of them. Also want to thank For Her Apparel. All right, Peyton and Miss Jennifer right there. Hey, listen, it's almost Christmas. You got a woman in your life. They've got a fantastic line. I don't know if you can see it. Take that banner off right there. Hey, look, right here. I got my For Her. I got to go the right way right there. I got my For Her shirt. That. Hey, listen, T-shirts, sweatshirts, fishing shirts, toboggans, and all that. Hey, they've got stuff for guys as well. So it's not just a true female clothing brand. But again, we're trying to get more women introduced into this. So, hey, maybe a T-shirt or something with a fish logo on it might be just something to spark their interest. And I can't wait. It's coming up soon. But we got a big announcement that we're going to be having. We'll probably have Miss Jennifer on at that time, when we make that announcement. But we got a big plan coming up for you guys after the first of the year. So go to forheroutdoor.com. Is that right? Did I say that right, Ryan? There you go, right there. Forheroutdoor.com. Check it out. Listen, there's some cool stuff. So we appreciate Miss Jennifer and Peyton. And again, Peyton fishes for the West Forsyth Bass Club, so I hope she goes out there and just whips some boys' tails while she's doing it like that. So I think it's great that the girls are getting into fishing. Also want to thank Red Bobber. Okay, we've got some Red Bobber apparel that showed up at the store today. They got some really cool things. Listen, that's a great story. This guy, he started it just by seeing, the old red bobber that we all have fished with when we were little. I guess you probably, what I'm talking about, that little red and white bobber and all that. So he's turned it into an apparel line. Kids, females, adults, got a little bit of everything. Got some really cool stuff. Ryan's got a red bobber shirt on right now. He wears it with pride and stuff like that.
Extremely comfortable.
Extremely comfortable. I've got a killer. I should have wore it tonight as well. A killer sweatshirt. Remember that one that he gave me? Dude, I absolutely love it. I wore it on our latest episode.
The red one?
The red one. Red and black.
Got the phone zipper.
Got the phones. Yep, got it in the front. So, again, you guys come up to the store. You can go check them out at redbobber.com. But if you want to come up to the store, take a look at it. This is an apparel line that's going to be growing. We're going to be supporting him as well. So we appreciate Red Bobber for his support. And, again, Elite Landscaping, Jason Sayers, Landscaping, Pressure Washing, J&S Contracting Services right there, 706-816-2049. Guys, if you want to remodel your house, basically, I think he does pretty much a little bit of everything.
He does a little bit of everything, yeah.
That's right. He also fishes the BFL, so you can follow Jason as he
He'll be fishing Toyota Series.
Is it Toyota Series next year? All right, there you go. So, but again, if you're looking to have some work done on your house, whether it is a full remodel. I'm sure he probably can do some new construction, decks, a little bit of everything, like I said, or clean it up with his landscaping and pressure washing services. You guys give Jason a call. So that's down Lake Country. That's, I guess, Oconee area, stuff like that. So yeah, Sinclair. So that's pretty cool.
Come all the way up here, he said.
He will. He's a good dude like that. So used to be in my hunting club. Yeah. He's a really good dude like that. And as always, we want to thank Rachel Collins at 400homes.com. I'm going to make you move a little bit there so we can get the picture behind Robert back there. Out there you see Miss Rachel, 770-310-0599, Rachel at 400homes.com. Again, if you're in the market to buy, sell real estate, Rachel's the agent for you. She's one of us. She likes to fish, got a great husband in James, supports the store, and just absolutely good people. So if you want dependable and honest service right there, Rachel is the agent for you. So make sure you give her a call. And again, all of our sponsors, thank you very much for what you do for us behind the scenes to make this possible. And we look forward to growing with you as our business grows. We hope your business grows as well. So you guys check out all them great companies. And did I miss anything, Mr. Sheffield?
I don't think so.
I think I got
it on the head.
Did I do it pretty good?
Yeah, you did.
For not being here so much.
Being here.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I did all right.
The rest off the right way.
That's right. All you guys out there in the comment section, I'm sure. Who's that guy? It is me. I'm back. Sorry I missed last week. I was in Tennessee fishing for muskies. So come by the shop. I'll show you some pictures. But I wish I could tell you. I wish I actually could show you guys the trailer of the show that we're working on with Super Chief Productions out of Chattanooga. Guys, this show is going to be absolutely fantastic. And next week we'll be filming in the Lanier area. Mr. Sheffield gets to make his guest appearance as a character on the new TV show coming up. So
I'm excited.
Big plans coming out with that. It's going to be released in the spring of 23. And when I can absolutely 100% tell you where it's going to be, I will absolutely let you guys know. So Mr. Ryan gets to get mic'd up and get in front of the cameras and all that. So you think fishing pressure is on when you do your live fishing. What do you got guys with $100,000 cameras following you around and stuff like that?
It'll be a sight.
Just be you. Just be you. So no food on the table tonight. No, look at this gut. I took care of that before we come on. And but so it's no what did we have? That was that Talladega Night Christmas the last time I was here.
Yes.
Yeah. So, hey, we might do us another one right there before Christmas. Mm-hmm. And when we give away that night, we're going to pull the jigs, winner of the jigs. So, hey, listen, guys, if you go to truegrittackle.com, it's got all the True Grit jigs and shaky heads that Mr. Sheffield himself hand ties and everything. If you make an order between now and what's the cutoff date, Ryan?
It'll be December 22nd.
December 22nd.
December 22nd.
That's right. So if you
guys, got a couple more weeks.
Yeah, you got a couple more weeks. Listen, everybody that makes an order on TrueGritTackle.com, their name's going to be put into a draw, and we're going to do it right here on the Livewell. The winner of that gets a year's supply of True Grit jigs, courtesy of Ryan. Now, listen, it's going to be about 150, somewhere in there, jigs. Now, he's not going to tie you all 150 in the first week if you win it. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that. So we're going to stagger it out a little bit. So we got to give the guy's finger a little bit of a break. But, hey, listen, you guys all know it's the best jig around. The Manti is the best jig around. I don't care what anybody says. So if you want a chance to have a year's supply of whatever colors you choose, and he might even do you some customs. I don't know if we got the material.
I probably will.
Yeah, probably do some custom stuff in there. Hey, go order you some True Grit Tackle stuff. And I want to say Jeremiah mentioned the table. What's up, Doug Phillips? The table. Oh goodness, you know how old I am. What's that fellow's name?
Kirk.
Remember his last name?
Not really.
I don't remember his last name all of a sudden. Anyway, listen, this dude came in, and we've got a couple. He does fly tying tables where you can set your thread and all your stuff that he does these really cool ones. We've got some in the shop, but he asked us if he could make us a table. And so what this is, it might be hard to tell with the stuff, but this is actually Latham Reservoir right down the road here, right in my front yard. It is a replica of Latham Reservoir, and it's really cool how he does this stuff. So is it one entry per person for jigs? No, you make 5 orders, I'll let you put 5 in there. I don't care. But if you make 1 order, it is 1 entry like that. So, but you got to do it. TrueGritTackle.com. You got to do it on the website. So you guys go there and order you some jigs. And if you want to come in the store as well, you can come in the store and order like that. But that night we're going to draw for it. And we've also got tonight, One entry port. Oh, there you go. I was going to say Fish North Georgia. I didn't recognize it. Hey, listen, we've actually got a prize tonight provided by, again, For Her Apparel. All right. So listen, you guys that are watching, I know you've got women at home, your wives, your daughters, or something, and you've got some friends. You have to be a woman to win this prize tonight, okay? We've got to get more women and girls involved in fishing. So what we've got here, and this is pretty cool. We've got a sweatshirt. We've got a hat.
Visor.
Is it a visor?
Yeah.
I like visors. I didn't get a visor.
Visor.
I like visors. So we got a visor and all that. Some other little things that are in the bag, the prize bag. But we also have, pull that out right here. We have got a lose. There we go. Rod and reel combo right here. Okay.
Another one. A
loser. Felicia. All right, Felicia. Hey, when time comes, living the life outdoors. I am a woman. Awesome. Hey, listen, we appreciate you guys. I know we're a bunch of country bumpkins up here, a bunch of men talking, but we all know that women are smarter than men anyway.
This is a good jig rod.
It is a good jig rod. So I'm glad you guys are here. So here's what we're going to do. About halfway through the show, okay, right about 8:50, 9 o'clock. Okay, 8:50, 9 o'clock. Yeah, Kelly Young, I guess that's one of your buddies right there. Woohoo, Captain Rob. There we go. What we're going to do is Kelly a girl or a guy? That's one.
A girl.
That's a girl. Oh, excellent. Kelly, good seeing you. All right, what we're going to do, we're going to have a question of the night. Okay, and y'all keep up with that because I don't want none of these guys acting like they're girls to win this. We want to actually give this to the right people. So I'm gonna have a question of the night right between 8:50, 9 o'clock, right in that area. The first female to give me the correct answer in the comment section will win that prize. And if you don't live close, I'll ship it to you. Okay, so how about that? Fair enough. We like that. But again, hey. Thank you to For Her, Miss Jennifer and Peyton for doing that. I cannot wait to tell you all this big announcement. I know I'm not supposed to, and let's just put there is a big event in the works. Let's just put it that way. That sound good?
Exciting.
It is going to be kick ass.
Talk to him about it.
Yeah, we do need to talk to you.
I really want to know what this is about. You've been talking about since I got here. So.
Yeah, so I will tell you after the show because I don't unless Miss Jennifer in the comment section gives me permission to say something, I'm going to withhold that until we've got all the details worked out. But now we can't see all the profile pics, but we can on some. Mm-hmm. We can on some. But if a female is using, like if you're watching and you've got a wife, a daughter, or something like that, if they will say, like Brian, let's just say your daughter want to do that, you can put her name down and say, hey, I'm watching and I want to play. And, we'll keep up with that. So, but it's going to be really cool. So, again, about 8:50, 9 o'clock. One last thing I want to get out of the way before we actually get talking to Robert about fishing, which is I have to wait till January 15th. I knew she was going to tell me that. So, I knew, listen, I'm bad.
We'll tell you afterwards.
I'll tell you after, but I'm excited about it. It's going to be one of the best events around, and it's for an absolutely outstanding reason we're going to be doing this. So we'll make that official announcement the 15th of January, but you'll know tonight. Right. You'll know tonight because we're going to need all the help we can get. So there you go, like that. But the last thing I want to say before we start talking about fishing with Robert and Ryan and all that, and see what's going on in the waters, I want to talk to you guys about our Fish North Georgia Patreon. Just kind of describe it real quick. Hey, we've got a subscription service, all right? You go to Patreon, you can join Fish North Georgia, and what it's all about, all my one-on-one podcasts are going to be going on there exclusively from here on out. Ryan does basically lessons, some lake map breakdowns and stuff like that. We're going to do new product reviews, stuff like that that's going to be exclusive to the subscribers of the Patreon that we're not going to put on the Fish North Georgia page or here on YouTube. Ryan does some really good lessons. I actually interviewed Skinner the other day, and he gave us some kayak stuff like that. For you people that like to fish the kayaks that are kind of off in the head a little bit, you kayak people out there.
Don't say that.
Yeah, they are. Kayak people are a special breed. No, I like them. I love all of you. But it's going to be something that you can use as a tool to make you a better angler. And, one of the subscription levels will even give you an access to Ryan himself where you can actually set up a time Zoom call Facebook, whatever you do, where you can talk one-on-one with the man right there, and he can help you out if you're having problems, got any questions like that. So basically,
we've already had some success with some people.
We have some people have called up Ryan needing some help, and we actually helped them out. But again, that's Fish North Georgia Patreon. And again, what goes on there is exclusive for you guys only. If you support us, it's our way of helping you like that. So you guys check out the Patreon. How about that? Was that good?
That's good.
Now can we talk fishing?
Let's talk fishing.
Let's talk fishing. 15 minutes of blah, 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 blah. You know, that's it. Hey, now we're into the meat and potatoes of the thing. So, Mr. Robert, how you doing?
I've been doing good.
How's life treating you? Is it all right?
It's been great. I mean, this is kind of a good change to get out from working nonstop.
That's right.
Getting to talk to you guys.
He's remodeling his house right now, so we all know a little bit about that. That's tough work. I just assume have all the hairs pulled out of my head as the work around the house. That's my wife.
I'm just trying to get it all done. I got a certain deadline. I want to get it done by this month, and so I can actually focus on fishing.
Focus on fishing, all that.
3 seasons. So.
Yeah. So, what we want to talk about, where we want to go, you guys. I mean, Ryan, I know you got some ideas, and I did my part of the show. Now it's you, baby.
Well, I mean, it's for those of you guys that know and remember Rob here. You know, he's a Florida transplant. And he moved up here about this time last year. So this year right now has been kind of his first real like experience up here of that fall transition into winter, because you probably didn't really get to fish when you moved up here because you were probably just too busy moving and getting everything set up until probably January maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I got to fish more last year, I feel like, than I do now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So want to kind of get your take on the shell shock of what happens here compared to Florida.
Two totally different environments.
Totally different environment.
Well, in Florida, typically the water kind of stays stable. You know, it doesn't drastically change like it does in these lakes, like 25 feet. Right. I noticed that like last year, I'm like, you know, when you're backing down the boat ramp, you know, in the beginning of the summer, it was, you know, normal. And then this time of the year, you know, you don't have that boat dock anymore that you can, you know, anchor to.
I know it's so he's a fan of Notley.
Love Notley.
But you've learned that Notley in the wintertime is a different lake than Notley in the summertime.
Oh, yeah.
And especially when you're talking about the waters dropping and stuff, that's a TVA lake, so they pull it down. And you know, the guys that live on Allatoona experience the same thing every year as they pull it down. So, you know, kind of speak to that the first time that you were like, hey, you experienced that. Was it down when you came up here?
Or no, I mean, when I came up here and started fishing for the first time, it was during the summertime. So I saw it when it was high.
Yeah.
And then, you know, obviously when the fall hit in the wintertime, you saw it dropping down. It was just like, this is crazy. Like, why do they do it?
Right.
Now I know why they do it, but it's like, it changes everything. You know, what you were fishing during the summer, you're not fishing that anymore.
Right. Totally changed the patterns. But I guess, and maybe I'm wrong, does it help you when the lake is down like it is now?
Love it right now this time of
year. Does it bunch the fish up?
In certain areas it does.
Okay.
But I can figure them out a lot better. They're not spread out. They're usually conjugated on one area.
How far down is Notley right now? Just kind of estimate.
It's been a while. I don't know. You probably know more than I.
10? I haven't been up to Notley in a while forever. But once you go down it, a good 10, 15 feet, you reckon?
Guys that fish Notley more regularly, you probably answer that question.
Yeah, you guys help us out. We do got a question. I want to make sure as the questions come. And again, you guys in the comments, if you've got questions for Rob, make sure you put them out there and we're going to read them out. We'll ask anything you want to ask him. Hey, we'll do it. So Southeast Georgia kayak bass fishing. I am headed to Lake Hartwell to fish a tournament. Anyone have any suggestions? I will be staying at Lake Hartwell State Park. Now, you fished Hartwell?
Yeah, many times.
Okay, well, there you go. So that's a great question. Guys, and I assume he's heading relatively soon. So, you know, right now, if you were going up to Hartwell, you know, what would you be looking for?
Dirty water.
Dirty water?
Yeah.
Okay, and why?
Dirty running water around this time of year. We've been getting a lot of rain, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So it seems like it ain't stopped.
I would like to find runoffs because the warmer water is coming in with the cooler water, and those fish like to sit there in that transition. And this time of the year, I noted when I went to Hartwell last year, that's how I was focusing on throwing rattle traps, throwing the red chatterbait.
Yeah.
You know, that you typically throw during February, red month. I like to do it now around this time of the year.
Okay, so a little different. So why now? Just because of the watercolor, or
because I feel like that the red transitions better in the water in the
murky water and stuff. Yeah,
dirty water. Yeah.
Okay. Is that a question you want to answer? Actually, I will answer that. Rob has not decided yet. Is that the best way to say it, or you're not sure, or what?
No, I really want to fish the. Okay, so
let's just go ahead and get that up and out of the room.
Might as well. So my big thing going into this, going to next year is what I really want to fish, and I haven't really made a decision due to I'm still trying to get a bunch of sponsors and stuff like that going into next year. But I truly want to fish the MPFL, and I'm not keeping that out, but it all determines on what I get for money wise.
Yeah, absolutely.
And stuff, because it is very expensive.
It is. And that's the one thing a lot of people don't think about. They see professional fishing or any higher level fishing other than, your club tournaments as fun. They see the kind of the aurora of big time fishing, but they don't realize the cost behind it and the time and the travel and all that kind of stuff. It's insane.
Yes, and it's leading up to the last event, I got an invitation, or I got an invite for to fish the MLF Invitationals, and I decided I didn't want to do that, just because of how that format set up just wasn't for my favor. I mean, I wasn't just going to pick that circuit because Lake Okeechobee is my home lake and I want to fish that, but I'm not going to just determine a league just because of that specific lake. So I knew I threw that out the window, and I wasn't planning to do the opens next year because I feel like everybody wants to do that. And I kind of just want to sit there in the back and just kind of wait and let all the cookie crumbles fall and see what happens next year. So I knew it was either I'm going to do MPFL next year or I'm going to stick back and probably fish local and do Toyota Series. So
okay, all right. So like that. You're welcome there. So praying for sponsors to give. Rob is awesome. So there you go, from Living the Life Outdoors. That's a great name too, Living the Life Outdoors. I like that screen name right there. Let me ask you this. If you were starting your own professional bass series, what would Rob like to see in it that maybe some of these others are missing? How would you actually set one up? Or do you just like certain formats better than others?
I like the traditional 5-fish format.
I think you would like that as well. You're the 5-fish guy.
Sometimes I like to mix a 3-fish format in specific lakes at specific times of the year.
Yeah.
Especially like now, like when it's tough or like really, really cold, why not do a 3-fish limit? See what happens, So, or maybe during the spawn, do a 3-fish limit because it just doesn't, affect the fish as much. You're not bringing 2 other fish back.
Right.
They can focus on spawning.
Now, if you did that over the course of 3 or 4 days like that, one of the reasons people argue about that on like a 1-day tournament that I've heard, maybe you've heard it as well, is people like somebody like me can get lucky and get just an absolute wall hanger and win a 3-fish tournament because they got lucky and all that. But if you broke it out over 3 or 4 days, I don't think that argument holds water.
Yeah.
But I think that's a lot of people say that. We've heard people say that. Like, oh yeah, somebody get lucky and bring a big one in and all that.
One big one and 2 dinks.
2 dinks, and they can win on a 3-fish tournament. That's why we do 5 no matter what. But in a professional kind of atmosphere series where you're doing it over the course of a few days, that would be awesome. What lakes would you choose for your series? Just curious. Would you make them really tough or?
No, I wouldn't make them tough. I mean, the thing is, if I end up starting my own league, everybody wants to see action.
Yes,
no
absolutely.
one wants to see people struggle. So I would pick lakes in specific times of the year when they're best.
Yeah.
And that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And you're trying to create an audience and you're trying to get that.
You want those big sacks coming in and stuff
people
like that.
want to see that. That's what people focus on.
Yeah. Chance Smith wants to know, so is red chatterbaits good for all muddy, murky water?
Yes. But, I mean, it also works with white and white chartreuse. I think it's a big thing.
Yeah.
Muddy water.
What about you, Ryan? Because I know you're a man of opinions.
To me, the red deals with crawfish more than it does anything.
So when the crawfish are out, that's when you like to use red. And
certain times of the year.
Right.
Yeah. Specifically now through about 1st of March into February.
Yeah.
I'm throwing something red, a lot.
To imitate
moving.
Right.
Moving.
And you probably do the same thing, but you also like the color profile in the murky water.
Yeah.
So I mean, what's the difference between a black and, did you say red, like a black and red chatterbait, or just a red?
Black and red chatterbait, yeah.
What's the difference between a black and red chatterbait and like a black and blue in muddy water? I mean, about the same thing.
It deals with to me it deals with the crawfish.
So you're going to stick by that. Okay.
This time of year when the water temperature gets below 55 degrees is about the time when the adult male crawfish come out.
Right.
And we talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a lot to do with the color when they come out, and then what those actual adult male crawfish are actually doing.
Hey, do your little thing.
Well,
come on, do it. No, do it. What do they do?
What the crawfish?
What do the crawfish do? This is, you got to give him a solo shot right here.
Well,
Nathan.
when they
give him the solo shot. Here we go. This is what crawfish do. This is my favorite.
When they come out, they basically they're deficient in vitamin A, which in turn makes them turn this brownish, blackish, reddish, orange color. Because they ain't been feeding, they've been the adult male. So like people think that, so like in the middle of the summer, a lot of what the crawfish that bass that eat crawfish, they're actually eating instars. They're eating the smaller juvenile crawfish because they don't really hide. They're in the process of trying to feed and trying to grow, so they become adults.
Right.
The whole purpose of a crawfish is to grow up to get to the point where it can spawn.
Uh-huh.
That's what they do.
Got to make babies.
So the male crawfish basically come out, and they come out in typically less than 12 feet of water, all the way up to about inches of water. But that 12 feet to 8 feet is a good range, really. That's why the rock crawlers, the chatterbaits, the DT8s and DT10s and demon colored stuff works really well now through February. But the adult male comes out and he sits on a rock.
This is my favorite part.
And he basically comes up here and he holds his pincers out just like this.
And what's he do?
And he just clicks. And he just clicks his big old pincers together.
What's that sound again?
And it's just. And that's why jigs with rattles and that's why chatterbaits and crankbaits with rattles work so well, because you're emulating that. And the reason why the moving baits typically do better this time of year through January is because he's sitting there on a rock doing this, and then no female comes along, so he turns around and crawfish swim backwards, and he jumps to the next rock. And then he sits on that rock over there somewhere, and then he sits there and does this again. And that's what they do.
I wish I could do that guy that does all those National Geographics, like The Mating Call of the Male Crawfish by Ryan Sheffield.
Turns around, boom! Come here, babies! Oh,
yeah. But the bass know that, and the bass typically, no matter, and it's a thing that happens when the water temperature gets solid below 55.
Right.
That's really when it gets really, really predominant happening. And then again, like I said, it's predominantly too, the reason why those colors work so well is because they're deficient in vitamin A. They're not greenish. They're not orangey, bluish where they've been feeding. They are brown, black, red, orange.
And looking for love.
And they're looking for love. They're looking for love.
Oh, so, that's right. Singing. That's what we did. One of these days we got to bring back the singing.
You guys do all that karaoke?
We used to make the guests sing a song.
I got a horrible voice, but I can.
No, but it doesn't matter. I mean, we would pull a song out and make you sing it. I give you we would do some rap songs. Oh, it was. Hey, we'll do it. We might do that tonight. We never know where this might go. Every time we do that, though, we get demonetized because we don't get permission to use the music. We get this slap on the hand from YouTube afterwards, like you shouldn't have done that like that. So we can do all the other stuff, but you can't use that music to sing and all that. So, all right. So
by the way, trailer of choice right now when this happens too. There's a nugget.
Give us a nugget.
Best trailer of choice around here for when that happens. And when the crawfish come out really good, is not really looked at hard, but it is by far probably one of the best ones to use. Is like a Strike King, rage crawl. That's probably one of the best ones because adult male crawfish's pincers are fully developed, and they're doing this. So the action of a rage crawl kind of emulates that, especially when they swim from rock to rock. And And I see a lot of professionals talk about that in videos, and you probably have too, or they talk about when the water temperature gets below 60, they start getting more subtle with their jig trailers and stuff, and with their chatterbait trailers.
Yeah,
but you don't.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, why? When Mother Nature is doing something, why not? I mean, the whole purpose of trying to catch fish is you're trying to convince a fish in the water that is something that is food.
mm-hmm.
And if you're getting something that doesn't have any action to it, bass is probably, hey, there's a bunch of crawfish on this bank that are all clicking, but then you got a jig over here that's just not doing anything. Like you got a chunk on the back, and it's just like sitting there. It doesn't look real. It doesn't look like what the situation's going on at the time.
Okay, you fish jigs a lot?
Yeah, I love jigs.
Yeah. Do you fish in that same kind of manner, or
I don't?
Everybody's a little different, so.
I mean, I don't go ahead and stand on the rack. No, but you gave me some jigs last time I was here, and they work well.
Yeah,
they really do.
Well, good. I'm glad.
They're great pontoon knockers too.
Oh, they will. Oh, absolutely, yes.
I did that one time, and I remember one guy comes out like, "Really?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Hey, we all make mistakes."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you don't want me. Yeah, Jess, you don't want me anywhere near like skipping docks and stuff like that. I can do it with a weightless wacky rig, but you put a jig in my hand, and I'm liable to hit the third dock down or Ryan in the back and stuff. It's not good. It's not pretty and all that.
Typically my back.
Typically his back.
I'm gonna have to wear a bulletproof vest probably next time we go skipping.
We'll do that. Yeah. Well, I stink at it. But now skipping on Notley is a big thing.
Yeah.
Now, have you had a chance to do that? I mean, there's a lot of boat docks and stuff like that.
Docks,
so cool thing about Notley is it's got a good population of spots and largemouth.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Nick Saban have a house on
Nick Saban lives on Burton. He's on Burton and stuff like that again. So, I was telling you about the kind of lakes. Now, what kind of lakes, though, do you like to fish? I mean, you're getting a taste. You come from down in Florida.
Yep.
Totally different, lake structures and predominantly largemouth bass. Now, you up here in North Georgia, you said last time because you wanted to come up and start learning all these lakes up here for your professional career, get information and all that. I tell you, here's a good question. Let's just do it this way. What have you learned? Kind of Ryan was kind of hitting on that. I mean, like things that other than the lakes dropping that you've learned about the fish or you didn't expect that you've learned, or even some mistakes that you figured out along the way.
Just transitioning. The transition, like typically down in Florida, you fish shallow,
right?
Majority of the year. And during the spawning season, fish move up shallow and they move out deep. You got to transition. You got to, the post spawn's a lot different up here than it is down in Florida. It was a hard transition, throughout the season and stuff like that. But I learned a lot.
Right.
And I think that was the biggest thing I could take from it.
When you fish a tournament or something like that, are you one of those type of anglers that writes notes down, kind of keeps a log, or is it just all in your
it's
head?
all in my head.
Yeah.
I don't write things down.
Well, I mean, that, it wouldn't do me good. I'd write it down wrong and mess myself up.
I mark spots on GPS and mark it on,
Yeah.
the spot.
What's your favorite way to fish for bass in North Georgia right now?
Right now, as we
or how about, as long as you've been up here, what kind of techniques do you like to do?
Up here, I like to throw a jig a lot.
Yeah.
Chatterbait. I like drop shotting. I like throwing a flatworm a lot around here.
Yeah. That's pretty okay.
Really
let me ask you,
tiny worms.
Why a chatterbait instead of a spinnerbait? I always love to ask guys this because they fall in one of two camps. They either love the chatterbait or they love a spinnerbait.
I love the spinnerbait, but I've had more bites than the chatterbait. I just don't know. I mean, I think it's the new revolution. The spinnerbait's been out for so long. I'm not saying you can't catch fish on a spinnerbait. Everybody catches fish on a spinnerbait and a chatterbait. I just think fish adapt over the years, and they've seen that spinnerbait for so long. Something different comes around, they're gonna initiate it a little bit different.
Okay,
that's just my theory.
Right.
So,
all right.
So living the life outdoors said right there to Rob.
Which one?
Cam wants me to tell Rob hi for him, and that his favorite bait is a chatterbait down here in Florida.
What's up, Cam?
So is that big? I mean, is that the Florida in you again? Because you got a lot of grass and stuff down there that we don't have up here.
Yeah, but I didn't throw a chatterbait a lot up in Florida. I mean, I did in certain areas and like outside edges and stuff like that. But like you said, the grass gets caught up all the time and stuff like that. So
okay, it's interesting. So, what is the worst thing about North Georgia fishing?
There's no grass.
That there's no grass. That there's no
Clark Hill.
Yeah, Clark's Hill's got some grass and stuff like that.
There's no hydrilla,
right?
There's no buggy whips to flip.
Yeah,
and mass to punch.
You need to go.
Well, it's different.
Yeah,
it's different.
Have you been to Clark Hill?
No.
You need to go to Clark Hill.
So that's
J. Strom Thurman Reservoir.
That's right. Yeah, however you want to call it over there on the South Carolina
border. It's got
border.
Grass in it.
Yeah.
But if I were to do it all over again, I would never I would make this move 100%. I mean, this was the best decision I ever made. Moving up here, trying to adapt to this climate and how the fishing works up here, and because being up here, it's basically how it is everywhere. It's how the fish. They're not super shallow all the time. They're deep all the time. There's different transitions, and you're stuck at Florida, Yeah. You're never really going to get anywhere if you're just stuck at one place.
Exactly.
Branch around.
I mean, in Florida, you say, "Yeah, we caught them deep today," and you're like, "Deep is like 7 feet."
It is different. What's up, Sal? Good to see you tonight. Southeast Georgia Kayak Bass Fishing again has a question for you, Rob. Do you yo-yo the chatterbait a lot rather than cranking it?
If I'm deep.
So if you go deep with it, you're doing a yo-yo. And what? I guess I don't do that. I don't fish a chatterbait. So explain to me what the purpose of that is.
So when I fish you fall in April for the Ray Scott Championship this year, 85% of the fish I caught was on the chatterbait. And I threw a 1/2 ounce and a 3/4 ounce. Threw a 1/2 ounce when the
fish.
Water was about 10 foot deep.
Yeah.
I would see my forward face sonar, and I'd try to just focus on the fish, and I'll throw it right on top of them, and they'll eat it. But then if I needed to get deeper in like 20 feet or 15 to 20 feet, I'll throw that 3/4.
Okay.
And then I'll get down there and I'll yo it up and down, and just really fast as I can, or slow it down. Just trying to initiate a bite.
So you're looking for that reaction bite kind of stuff like that. How about electronics in your game? How big of a part does that play?
It's a big thing. I mean, I've kind of gotten a little bit over ballistic about it. Now I have 3 units up front.
You got the studio. You got the studio.
I got everything, but you have to have it to compete with these guys.
Ask Mr. Sheffield. He got him one a few weeks ago, and he said it has changed. But what did you say? What's the bet? Kind of like what my cousin said today. What is it? What does it do more than anything?
It changed my understanding of the behavior of bass.
Yeah, that is true.
One of the things.
What I thought was what I thought was right. What I thought bass did was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. What's up, Mr. David? Easy. One thing, my cousin, we actually had him on the speakerphone today, and he got one this past week that Ryan and him actually installed for him. He said the most interesting part of it was he did not realize how much the fish are moving and how fast they are. And like he said, with typical 2D, you come over that, you see fish down there, but you have to wait for the screen to refresh to watch it. He goes, but when you drop that bait and just see them zooming or actually have a bait ball, next thing you know, you got one flying through the middle of a bait ball.
Yeah.
That those fish are constantly moving, whereas on 2D, you don't get that same kind of. So that's kind of, and that's something you kind of experienced with it and all that.
Yeah.
When you fit, what kind do you have? What are you throwing as far as your
active target?
Active target, is that what you are?
So I run a 16 live on the console, a 12-inch helix on the console, and then a 12 helix on front for the 360, and then I have 2 12 Lowrance for the active target and the mapping.
Now I've got a 360. How do you like it?
I love it.
Is it not awesome? I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
For those,
it makes you break down brush piles a lot quicker. I mean, if you see them on a 360, you scan with your live scope and see if there's fish there. So.
Oh, there you go. Michael Temple's found a new color that works great on Latham and Hickory log. Hey, come in here and let me know, buddy. But and also to your next comment, you figured Ryan would never go to the live scope side. And again, let's just be honest. You always kind of had a little bit of a deterrence against it, but you've been enlightened a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the impulse decision that I made a month ago was
it was a hell of a sale.
I got it. Well, that, but also it was like, well, if it hadn't been on sale, it wouldn't have mattered. I'm not going to go into the big old long detail story, but I mean, me and Bronson were fishing and I got mad. I got really, really mad. And I just said, screw it. I mean, I can't compete again. You know, in a lot of the clubs that I fish, you know, pretty much everybody has one.
Right.
And I was one of the last holdouts, and I was just like, in order for me to compete, I need this.
Yeah.
I just need it. And when I say I need it, I mean, and you may laugh at this. I mean, I jerked the other graphs off the front of the boat, and that's the only thing I have on the front of the boat right now. Yeah, because I committed. I said I'm going to learn how to use this, and I'm going to use this. I'm going to learn how to use it.
Right. I mean, you said your eyes have been open a lot too, about the way fish, like my cousin said, the fish behavior and how it goes in and stuff like that.
And then there was one instance, the very first tournament that I fished, that traditionally the way I would have fished that creek down the middle with a ditch digger, I wouldn't have caught a fish out of that creek. But when I looked at and scanned on LiveScope, I realized that there was a little drop-off ledge over here going into the creek channel that had made a little knoll that kind of come off into it, that nutted into the middle of the ditch that I never really knew existed. But they were sitting on top of it. I made 4 straight casts, caught 4 straight fish.
Right.
But traditionally before then, I would have been throwing down the middle all the way toward the back.
Right.
And I would have passed right. My boat would have went right past. I would troll right past them.
Wouldn't have seen them fish.
I wouldn't have seen them sitting there, but I seen them sitting over there, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's a wad of them sitting there." And I threw it out there and watched it go all the way down. And when it went past it, there was like 2 of them just came right out and grabbed it before it got more than probably 5 feet away from them. So got into the boat, unhooked it, threw it in a live well, threw it back out there again, and then the same thing happened again. It went right past them, and then 2 more come out, and one of them grabbed it again.
Yeah,
and it was just like I was just, listen, this is. I mean, I never would have caught these fish.
It's a game changer. It really is. LiveScope is. I mean, especially for crappie fishing. Oh my gosh.
Wow, crappie fish.
Yeah, no, I know the crappie guys. Yeah. Yes, they love that. Tyler's got a good question. Do y'all not think that all the tech will eventually make the older ways more productive again, fishing without any sonar, boat, etc.? Like what goes around comes around, I guess.
Well, see, I don't live off of it though. I mean, I've already had multiple instances already now where I use it as a tool. I don't do breakneck fishing where I'm sitting there just looking at what I'm looking at my screen.
Right.
You know, I use it to locate stuff, and then I can I mean, I've seen some stuff now with LiveScope that I never even knew existed.
Yeah.
I think that's probably, you probably agree with that. That's probably one of the biggest things. It's like, oh my God, I didn't even know that. Look, this point comes off. Oh my God, there's like a break in the side of this point.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be able to notice that unless you idled over top of it. But you know, once you idle over it, it's
right. I think the 360 does that as well because you didn't realize that stump was laying out there, and you get that full 360-degree view of the rocks and stuff like that. Now maybe you can. I have not figured out yet how to spot fish on that thing. How about you?
I have. I can see the shadows for sure. Yeah.
So it's a shadow game, just like side imaging and stuff like that. Maybe does the size screen help with that? What do you run your? That's on a 12.
Yeah, but I do, instead of doing the whole 360, I do the front. So I half the circle.
Okay, so you're looking more to the front of the boat.
Yeah, because I'm scanning on the front. I'm not turning my head around.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that has that feature and all that. So it's more of a shadow game. You see the rock and you see a few shadow.
Yeah.
And then when they come back around, if the shadows, you see the same rock and the shadows have moved a little bit.
Yep.
That's fish.
It's a good thing too with bed fishing too.
Okay.
I noticed that it would be cool to go ahead and be in Florida right now for, to spot them on beds, because if you can spot 2 of them paired up on the bed off a lily pad, your live scoping forward face sonar. I mean, that's how those guys caught them in Kissimmee. Not saying they were catching them on beds in Kissimmee, but everything was on forward face sonar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just spotting them and where they're at and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
It is a tool. But I think Tyler, they've got 50 years ahead of them. There's no telling in 5 years what the technology will be, so it changes. It's like a computer. It changes so fast.
It does. Like, I know Garmin came out with their new transducer. And I know Lowrance came out with Act the Target 2. Now it's something different. I can't keep up.
No, you can't. Seriously.
I felt like I caught up, and now there's more stuff coming out.
Right. And so, but you still, even at the end of the day, whether you see them fish or not, you still got to catch them.
You still got to catch them.
You still got to catch them and all that like that. So, there are a lot of people like that if they had all that electronics, and we know some guys that are like that. They just get so tuned into the electronics that they.
But see, I used to think that, and I think there's a lot of guys that do that, and they get tore up over it. They're like, oh my God, there's fish here, but they don't. But just because there's fish somewhere doesn't mean they're going to bite.
And if they're not biting, get up and leave.
Yeah.
And that's the plus of having live scope, is that you can scan areas and you can fish for 15, 20 minutes. If it's not happening, get up and leave, because it might happen another area that's a quarter of a mile down.
Yeah.
We experienced that with Beasley, God rest his soul, that one night on Lanier.
Yeah.
He saw them fish and it was killing him that he couldn't get them to bite.
Right.
That day. It was just driving him crazy like that. So, but
it's like this past Sunday and the second day of my classic, Saturday, I didn't do it, but Bronson did. There was one creek, one ditch that had them, and they were just swimming around all over the place. You could see them. They were just swimming everywhere. And they were keeping this ball of bait like hemmed up in like 15 feet of water down. And we were in like 38 feet of water, but they were keeping it like 15 feet up. And these fish were like 10 feet off the bottom. And they were just basically like corralling it like you would see
like on
dogs
like
and
on the
cowboys
the
doing
Discovery Channel.
Cattle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm like, Bronson, come here. And he comes up there. I said, drop that drop shot right here. There's like 3 of them like right here, 5 feet in front of the boat. They're just sitting here. And he drops down in front of them and they follow it down. And when they follow it down on Saturday, they bit. But then Sunday, we fished some of the same places again because we knew there was a bunch of fish in there. We're like, well, we can go back, maybe pick a couple more off. It wasn't happening. They would watch the bait go down and they would follow it and they would look at it and then they would, and they disappear.
Some more.
So it was just like, all right, one more time, drop down one more time. And they did the same thing again. And it was like, all right, pick trolling motor up and we left.
Yeah.
It was like, gave it two or three shots and we're like, these fish are not interested in eating anything right now.
Yeah. So how much do you use it like that? I mean, it's
all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. I love live scope.
Yeah. And so, but like when you come across an experience like that, do you get frustrated and ever just like, I know you'll bite it?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'll have to change up something, like the color, like let's say you're using the same worm and sometimes changing the color will make them want to eat.
Right.
It could be the same type of worm, but the color, something different.
Right.
So now when you do that in your personal thing, do you make a loud contrast or do you just make a subtle change?
Good comment, Michael.
Just depends.
Yeah, it depends. I mean,
if you're throwing like a green pumpkin flatworm,
yeah,
then like do you go to like, let's just say maybe the natural white one or something like
not
that?
Natural white, but maybe green pumpkin chartreuse, green pumpkin brown, maybe something in the green pumpkin that's a little bit different. And again, 4 or 5 different types of colors to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was in Sandusky, smallmouth fishing, that vent over there, day one, they would bid on one something. And then I threw that same color day 2, they wouldn't buy it, changed the color, they started biting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, that's how it is.
Right.
They get adapted to it.
I was going to make a comment, but I won't do that. Hey guys, listen, in about 13 minutes, we're going to have the question of the night. Again, the only females can answer that. So if you've got a wife, daughter, or you're watching a female, again, get ready for the question of the night. Again, we're going to give away the Lose bait casting combo and some apparel from For Her Apparel. Again, and one of the reasons why For Her I decided to join up with us is they got a goal of getting women into fishing, getting girls into fishing, and these bass clubs and stuff like that. That it's the they can do it as good as we can do it, absolutely, and probably better in a lot of instances. I know there's a lot of women out there that outfish me.
There's some good anglers.
There are some good anglers, but again, it's getting them in the outdoors, and also it's helping to increase their their self-worth, their self-value of themselves, get out there and competing and doing things like that. So again, that's about 10 minutes. We're going to be having that question. So one of the cool things that again, like I said, my cousin got it last week, and when you use that live scope, and again, I've got one on my boat, but I haven't hooked it up yet. I've got it. I mean, it's sitting at that. My 360 is working, but I haven't got my live scope working yet. But of course, you got to fish to do that. So, but it's watching the reaction though of the fish to your bait, whether they're being aggressive, whether they're doing what Ryan says, following it down and then taking off. When you see fish following your bait, okay. Now, what goes through your mind, your process of thinking like, okay, they're following it, they're not taking it, they're following it slowly, or they're being aggressive and all that. What kind of goes through your mind as you make those changes, to the bait or something like that? How do you process that?
You get anxious.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that would be what I would do.
Yeah, I get anxious. You sometimes you get a little frustrated. That's where, changing the bait or getting up and leaving. It's kind of like a video game. Wait till you do it. Like when you did it for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, and you caught a fish on it. It's like, dude, this is awesome.
No, my first bite I broke it off.
Yeah.
I swung so hard. I did. Kurt Weehunt, if he's watching or whatever, Kurt Weehunt was in the boat with me. I watched it bite and I've never broke 12-pound test line off on a hook set before. I swung like it was the bottom of the ninth World Series Game 7 with 2 outs and 2 runners on down by 3.
And you're a big, yeah.
I mean, what? I was like, oh, you can do that.
So did you see, when you set the hook then, was that on the feel of the fish or was that on the video you saw?
Well, I watched it and there's a slight delay in the video. There's a very slight, maybe you can explain it better than I can. So you'll see them get the bait and you'll see your bait disappear. About the time you see them grab the bait, it's within, I don't know, milliseconds. It goes poop.
Yeah.
And they grab it.
But you see it first.
But you see it, no, you feel it. And then you see it happen, and then it's like, when you see what happens on the screen, it's so close. That little 0.2 second, 3 second millisecond delay there. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. I said maybe you can explain it better than I can.
But are you throwing drop shot?
No, the first ones that I ever caught was I was throwing a Kitech at them.
Okay,
and I was actually casting it at them.
So like if I'm drop shotting, the hook's somewhat exposed,
right?
So. Especially this time of the year, I noticed that the fish get really like stingy. So they'll go up to the bait and they'll take their time. You can see them, and then all of a sudden you feel that, and you just pull up. Yeah.
See, if I saw the fish right there by the bait, my ass would be jerking or pulling no weight.
No, because
I would. I just know I would.
Well, there's been many times where I've dropped it and I didn't time it perfectly, and I'm like, oh, I missed it, darn it.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Was you doing that based on what you were seeing?
Yes.
Yeah. So you were seeing that, and you were like, okay, there he is. But you were a second early.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to toot my own horn, but my learning curve was like that. Because the very next one that I actually threw at, I seen it. I was like, it's coming. And I basically was like,
oh, you turned your head.
I turned my head away from the screen. And now that I've caught probably like 50 or 60 fish total using exclusively looking at them with a live scope.
Right.
Like I said, I'm not tooting my own horn.
You can toot it. It's okay.
Okay, so
it's our show.
All right, so let's just put it to you in perspective. I didn't struggle with it like some people did, where they basically were like, I pull it away from them to me. I have not pulled it away from one since the first day that I got it. Yeah, the first day that I used it, and maybe that's just me training myself.
But you were smart enough to say, okay,
yeah.
And I don't know that I would be that smart. I would actually be just trying to rip lips the whole time like that.
But like I said, I mean, I've probably caught somewhere in the 50 to 60 fish range in about a month now, using like knowing that they're up there.
Yeah.
But then I've also caught probably another 50 or 60 fish, give or take, not even looking at the thing. Throwing a crankbait, on these rocky points or secondary
just because
points
you know that
I just know I'm only throwing a crankbait up there. I won't even point the thing at them because I don't really think about it. I'm throwing a crankbait right here. I'm going to throw this crankbait regardless. I don't need this thing to tell me, oh, I don't even need to throw my crankbait up there. Because sometimes you can't see them.
Yeah.
Especially when you
get
up
in like less than 5
Brian.
feet.
Yeah.
You can't even see them.
Yeah. Brian does that same thing with topwater sometimes. Sometimes you just got to look away. Because we sit and we pull the hook out of the mouth. Do you use yours? Both of you can answer this question. Robert, you first. The perspectives, the different angles and all that. What's more?
Forward.
So you're more forward.
Forward, yeah.
Okay.
Well, he has 360. So, I mean, he can keep his forward, but then he has his 360 doing the half circle in front of you. Yeah. So I need to throw. Oh, there's a stump over there, and you throw over there.
And then you can see.
And then if I know in the 360 if there's a stump or a couple of brush piles or whatever, I'll just go there and scan it really quick and see if there's anything there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll throw it up there. And if I don't get anything, there's another brush pile.
So you don't change it though. You stay pretty much forward the whole time.
Always forward. Yeah.
Always forward.
I mean, I've tried the other ones. Like when I was in Florida and when I went back to Florida last summer and I had, the three, all of it. And I used it in scout mode because I was in shallow water and I was seeing if maybe that translated a little bit better, but Ford's the way to do it.
Well, what's your set on Ford?
Ford.
On Ford.
I have not messed with perspective
Yeah.
yet. When I hooked it up, it starts in I don't know if the Lowrance does it, but on Garmin it starts in perspective mode and you have to change it.
Yeah.
You have to change it. Does the Lowrance do that? Does it start in perspective and you have to change it?
No, I have it. Okay, so I have it in the shaft.
Well, I'm talking about on the graph.
Oh, on the graph.
You know, when you turn the graph on initially and you go over to on Garmin, it starts on perspective mode. You have to go in there and tell it forward or down.
The settings are
okay.
Once I turn it on, they're what I love.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Kelly Young, you say you've got a live scope crappie and paddlefish video. It's exactly like a video game. How about in the comments you put your channel right there if you've got a YouTube channel where you've got the videos at, so we can share and maybe get you some more subscribers and we'll all go check it out. So paddlefish.
Yeah,
that is one ugly fish, dude.
It is. She's a cool chick, man. She's been
all
over the country doing her YouTube channel. She's been doing it for about 3-4 years. Really proud of her.
There you go. All right, that's awesome. So make sure, seriously, you might have already done it and I missed it, but make sure any of you people, actually, anybody in the comment section, if you've got a channel, something like that on YouTube that we can help build your channel up and send people to, make sure you put it. Subscribe to. Subscribe to Kelly. So Kelly, give us your channel right there. I think it'd be really cool.
Young.
It's Kelly Young.
Oh shit! Is it?
I was just assuming.
That's the name of the channel's Kelly Young.
Kelly Young. Just find her on YouTube.
Okay, well, there you go, guys. So I'm an idiot.
Just go over there on the comments and click on her name, and then just go hit the subscribe button and come back and watch us.
Well, you better do it in the next 3 minutes because we're going to have the question tonight. Listen, I'm old school, man. I can't figure out all this technology and all that. I do my best, guys, to actually just get up and breathe in the morning. So you guys bear with me.
Before we get to that question,
go ahead. We got time.
Do you set your range? What do you set your range at? 80 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
100's too far.
I'm still messing around with. I don't mind auto right now. The auto range.
I don't like it.
But sometimes I've seen where it's
down. If depending on the depth.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do auto range during the depth.
Oh,
yeah. Not forward.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
360. Now again, I'm challenged. All right, so you got to help me out. I've noticed that when I get deep, it doesn't work near as good. Is there a setting that I messed up?
No, it's the truth.
If I get 20 feet and deeper, it just seems to kind of fade out a little bit. So
what is the depth?
No, you have to adjust your contrast and sharpness and stuff like that. I mean, it starts affecting when it gets to about 80 to 100.
Okay, so I'm really screwed up then, because I can be out Latham, that Michael didn't talk. I lose it every time I get 20, 30 feet off the bank. I cannot see deep. So it's in the settings.
Yeah, it's in the settings.
What's the deepest you like to use the 360 though?
Well, he's talking about 80 feet.
80. Like when I went to Table Rock in Missouri, I was catching fish on 100 foot of water.
Right.
But the thing
that's insane.
It is. But the trees, there were submerged trees, and like the tip of the trees, the very top of it was probably 40 feet.
Okay.
Suspended from the top. And fish would sit right on the top of it, and that's where you put your drop shot. And so, I was catching fish in 100 feet of water, but technically they were sitting suspended about.
Okay, I got you. I got what you're saying.
And that's how I noticed Lanier when I fished the Lanier a couple of times. That fish would sit right in the tip of it, especially
on the timberline. Yeah,
the colder it gets this time of year.
All right, well there you go. We've got Catching with Cam, right? Catching Up with Cam. Subscribe to my channel for some fish action. There you go. You guys go check him out after the show. But again, don't forget, if you've got a channel, hey, we're all about supporting you guys too. So that's pretty awesome. So we're close enough.
Yeah.
We're close enough. All right. So, again, the only people that can win this prize pack are of the female persuasion. The ladies.
The female persuasion.
Now, what that means these days, I don't know, but we're going to go with that. So let's keep it at that. Now, all right. If any of you guys have a wife that is out there, she's got to put her name in the comment when she answers this. But I know some of you and I know some of your wives, so you're not going to get it by me like that. So we know your wife's name. But again, this honestly, let's be honest about it. This is for the females, and the reason being we're trying to get them more active. We need to get more female viewers on the show. We got to get them involved in the outdoors and fishing and stuff like that because it's good for everybody right there. So here's the question. All right, we're going to watch it. First one in the comment to give us the correct answer wins the prize pack. You going to help me watch right there, Ryan? Yeah. Are you glued to the screen right now? Drum roll.
All right, go ahead.
There we go.
Whatever.
Da-da-dun! Who won the 2021 Hobie Bass Open Tournament of Champions? Who won the 2021 Hobie Bass Open Tournament of Champions?
Do you know?
Was it a girl?
Yeah, it was a
It
girl.
was a girl.
It was a girl.
It was a girl.
That's a hint.
That's a
There's
hint.
your hint. Now, guys,
That's the only
again,
hint you're gonna get.
you
It
guys
was a
cannot
female
answer.
angler.
Do not even try. This is for the ladies in the audience watching, the female anglers. There's not a $35,000. Oh, she won a $35,000. I'm about to say I'm not giving away a $35,000 check. Brian, you can't answer that. Let's see. No, Amy. Okay. Oh, John
already got it.
John already got Amy.
That's
Christine Fisher. So there you go. And I do know Amy, so that is his wife. Oh, Kimberly said, all right, Midwest Fishing.
Okay, well, that's good, but
unfortunately, John beat you.
John beat you.
John beat you right there.
John, come see us at the store. You can come get
That's
it.
right, John. Next time you come up and you and your terrible taste of music come up here.
No, you didn't have to go that deep.
I love John, but he listens to some weird stuff right there. So again, congratulations to Amy Allred for the being the winner of the For Her outdoor apparel prize pack. She got a bait casting combo and a cool sweatshirt, visor, and some other little things,
some stickers
and stuff like that.
Chain, yeah.
That's all. Amy is cheering. Well, there you go. That's awesome. I bet the tarantulas are cheering and all that as well. So she likes tarantulas.
She keeps full blown tarantulas
as
like
pets, man.
You know, when I'm up here, the spiders, the amount of big ones I've seen. Oh my god.
Oh, dude, there's some big boogers, but I mean, they like she does this on purpose. I mean, they're pets and all.
Plays with them.
Plays with them and stuff. Listen,
to be outside.
Danny don't do I don't mind spiders.
South America.
Yeah, I don't mind spiders, but like in some places of the world, they eat those things like that. Something's big enough to be a meal.
Don't say anything. There might be someday me and you go fishing the Amazon River for a TV show. We might have to eat spider or something.
I will eat them. Will you?
If it's cooked over an open fire, I'll take a bite of a leg.
Yeah.
You told me I had to expand my horizons.
It might taste like frog.
It might. It could. It might taste like chicken.
They're kind of meaty.
And it might taste like nothing.
They're kind of meaty. I mean, they're going to be fried, dude.
Chocolate covered spiders, probably.
They've got to be fried, though.
That's right.
Dude, I wonder, do they like dehair those things? Because they're fuzzy.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
they got hair on that thing.
We finally have discovered something Danny won't eat. No, you haven't. I'll try it. I'll try one. If I ate worms up in the building for those girls that one day. You weren't here, was you? Mm-mm. They went over to the thing. They were playing with the worms. And I was just talking. It was actually Justin Reynolds' two daughters and all that. And I said, eat it. And they were like, nah. And I said, if you'll eat one, I'll eat one. And they're like, you eat it first. So I threw one right in my mouth and just chewed it up right in front of me. And they like freaked out. It was just a night crawler, man. It wasn't no big deal.
When I used to catch bait, when I used to saltwater guide down south in Florida, catch pilchards and stuff like that, and kids, I'll eat them right in front of them.
Oh yeah,
live
freaks them out, man.
Yeah,
and then I'll spit it in the side.
Amy, don't be talking about eating my tarantulas.
We're not talking about eating your tarantulas.
Not your tarantulas. And those Juro spiders are covering Lanier shores up, man. I got the Juro. Is it Juro? How what's pronunciation?
Juro spider.
Because I mess everything up. I can't even say his name.
Those invasive species.
Yeah.
They're up now.
Yeah, they're still out. Their webs are still out of my house.
I have a massive one that I'm keeping in front of my house, and I have a reason why. I think I told you this. I have a reason why. Everyone's running around killing
torture
them.
It?
Nope. You know what they eat?
They eat mosquitoes, don't they?
But they eat something a little bit more volatile than mosquitoes.
Wasps?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I didn't kill mine. I left them.
I have one that's like this big.
What is it?
Juro. So Juro,
and it ate it didn't eat a murder hornet, but I witnessed one of the European one get caught in the web, and I sat there and watched it, and that thing made a precise and grabbed it and killed it.
That's cool.
And then it rolled it up and stuff real quick because they're fast.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I was going to kill it. I was going to kill that big mamma jamma.
They're big.
And then it was like, we got these European wasps that come out every blue moon. And
Especially
they got caught in the web, and
dude.
I was like, "Holy crap!" I said, "Maybe these things aren't as bad as." Because I don't know of anything other than a garden spider that will eat and kill
I
a
still
hornet.
wish they would do the writing stuff though, like the natives and all. That's pretty, man.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
anyway,
Charlotte's Web and all that stuff.
So there's your little tidbit, you guys. Just because everyone's running around killing the Jodo spider,
Yeah, I
they
don't
will
care.
I
eat.
don't kill them.
I don't
They
kill
don't bother me.
They won't mess with
I've
you.
had them crawl in my hand. They don't bite.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't messed with them. I just leave them up.
But I'll take a picture of it. I'll post it though tomorrow morning. I have one that's probably that big around.
That's
Everything's
It's a
big at
stud.
your house, so.
that might need to go.
Everything in my house is big.
Yeah,
Everything. I had the huge garden spider. I still had the picture of it. I had one though that my wife wanted to kill it, and I was like, no. But I had one. I was like, no joke. It was that big, garden spider. I still have the picture on my phone.
You know what you need to do? Catch it and give it to Amy, right? Is that her?
Yeah, Amy could raise that spot.
Yeah.
No, those die out though, don't they? They got a short lifespan.
After they grow up and fully mature, I think they lay an egg sac one time and then they die.
We have to read Charlotte's Web again. I know it was in there somewhere.
But this isn't
Charlotte
a
die?
writing. These aren't writing
Yeah,
spiders.
but didn't Charlotte die?
Yes.
I thought so.
She died.
It's been a hot minute since I read that book.
Yeah, she died. But
Right.
the garden spiders are not what Charlotte was. Charlotte was a writing spider. The garden spiders are the largest native species of spider in the state of Georgia. They get huge. They're the ones that are gray, black, and yellow. And they get huge. You can see their eyes.
I've nenever seen those before.
I'll show you a picture.
Our Juro spider is guarding the front door. There's
Melinda. See, our Juro spider is guarding the door.
And I won't knock it down. I think it's kind of a cool looking.
I want to see how. And plus two,
Cool
I'm seeing how
They are.
long it'll stay. I'm curious. That's one of the other things too. I'm curious to see as it gets colder, how long will they stay out? Because most of the spiders now are all in the ground.
So basically now it's an experiment.
Yes.
Well,
It's
you know, all
the
for
ones,
science.
The ones up in where I'm at in LJ, it's died off. I
Yeah.
don't see any spiders.
Yeah. So how about this? This is a good question. Kelly is going to the Amazon River in February.
Ooh.
I'll let you know. Very awesome.
Yeah, thanks
That's
for the
very
invite,
awesome.
Kelly.
I actually that is in the future plans for the show that we're doing. So maybe one of these days I'm going to get down there.
Yeah.
So on topic,
See?
that's a big old bug. On topic, which one of y'all have used the Lunker Hunt spider bait? Have any of y'all ever
Oh my
used
God, I
a
think that's
spider
one of
bait?
those- and for me personally, I think that goes in the category of gimmick bait.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The one that you throw it out there and the legs move. It's battery powered.
How did they do again?
And the legs move. listen, if you're going to be here for the next several episodes,
You got to get used to that.
I gotta get crack on y'all.
He can do that. He does a mean President Bush and all that. He's the man of many
War on
talents.
terror.
Well, do it again.
War on terror. The right hand. Remember this. The right hand knows what the left hand is doing at all times.
He's an idiot.
That's
man.
what he did.
I know that's what he did.
what he
It's
did.
fantastic. Okay, so yeah, back to the fishing. Oh Lord, but definitely no. I have never used a Lunker Hunt. I can't even say hunt. Lunker Hunt.
Lunker Hunt.
guess
I
that's
have
got-
never thrown a single Lunker Hunt bait.
What about buzz ducks?
Dug bait. A buddy of mine used to throw a dug bait in Okeechobee.
I can
Really?
see it working though in
He goes,
Okeechobee.
they hit it.
Yeah, I mean that's probably part of
Yeah.
ducks is probably more so a part of their.
That's what I was getting
Yeah,
to say.
okay, yeah, muskie and pike on
Yep.
duck bait.
When I was on the river last week, they were talking about muskies and what they eat.
All you got to do
And
too
it's-
is Google there's a YouTube video. Just search it on YouTube. Bass eats duck, and it grabs the last one. There's the mama's swimming away with about 5 of them,
Yeah, so
and one just grabs it, and it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah,
it sucks it under.
yeah, they said the like muskies will eat like ducks, like mallards, and not just the babies.
Yeah,
They'll
they'll eat
eat
like the
full
ones.
grown ducks. He was talking about their specific food because he said a muskie eats like once a week, so they go for a big meal. They eat smallmouth, like 12 to 18-inch smallmouth. That's what those fish eat, and then big old suckers and stuff like that. But if something's going in the water, he said he said that they'll be rowing the boat, and a muskie will follow one of his guys, lures up, and we'll just strike just because they're mean as hell. We'll hit the boat oar. They're just like, you see them sharks come up and just hit props and stuff like that.
So when
Could you imagine that?
So let's talk about that. So when you went up there to Sandusky,
Yeah.
how many pickerel or pike did you catch? Which one were you catching? Which one was biting more up there?
Pickerel.
Pickerel.
When I was in Saginaw, I caught more of the pike and more pike that way. I caught some nice pikes.
What is the difference between a pickerel and a pike?
Size, I guess.
So pickerel is just kind of like the same fish, it's just so small.
More greenish color. I think that the pike has a little bit more brown.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, good. So I saw one of those little brown diving ducks get eaten last year. About a month before I caught the big flathead. Okay, so yeah, now big catfish take stuff like that too. So muskies will eat medium to large cats. So story of the, I guess just keep your pets and ducks out of the water if it's in musky water and stuff like that. So kind of like the rat too. So I know Jeremiah likes that.
The rat works though.
Oh my God, that's still. Have you ever thrown that? Let's ask that. Have you ever thrown one of them Spro rats?
No, but I've thrown. Bruiser Baits makes a 14-inch big old ribbon tail, which is called the Big Nasty. It's 14 and a half inches, and you reel it in like a big snake. And because
is this down in Florida?
This is in Florida.
Okay.
During the post spawn, the little pygmies and the copperheads hatch their eggs, and they get about that big, and they swim across them. I've seen giants hit those, so they mimic that.
So that makes sense.
Yeah,
we're getting in Doug Hannon territory now. Yeah, Doug Hannon, bass professor, says the best bait to catch a giant bass is a snake lure, snake imitation.
When are y'all going to come? What are we coming to?
Where are we coming to?
We will come wherever.
Fish Okeechobee.
Oh, Fish Okeechobee. Hey, let's just get it on the calendar. Like that. Yeah, so I know, listen, like Jeremiah, the Spro BBZ rat, the Buka bull rat, and the PB rat are all good. But he likes that one that I call little 5 points. It's like morning dawn, chartreuse, and gray and all that. Like, how many rats do you see of that color?
Oh, I mean.
But he loves it, man. He's
throwing one of those, though.
Yeah, no.
Spro makes them?
Spro makes it. It is the
BBZ1 rat.
It is a absolute.
I have one hanging on my wall.
It is a city boy rat if I've ever seen one like that. But hey, you know what? Hey, I guess they'll hit disco rat. It's the disco rat, Brian says. So that's like that. That's a rat from Bainbridge right there. Hey, I have fished with a 16-inch worm when Optimum Baits used to make them. Now that's a big one. Now what's the old man's jelly worm? How big is that in comparison?
16 inches.
Is it that big? Now, yours had a ribbon tail, though, what you're talking about. So, I mean, it was looking like the snake.
Yeah.
Didn't Hannon used to make that snake head, that floating snake head that you would put like a ribbon tail type worm on it or some replaceable thing?
I think it was. There's an infomercial for it and everything.
Yeah, it was. And
they're like getting these massive blow ups.
Yeah.
Like the banjo minnow.
Like the banjo minnow. Yeah, fish with the banjo minnow.
Yeah, I remember those ones. Yeah.
No, I'll tell you what.
Okay, so what's the craziest
Thanks,
thing?
John. And thanks, Amy. He's calling it tonight. So
the hurricane.
The helicopter lure. And what's the craziest thing you've ever fished with?
Bait? Like live bait?
Yeah.
Cheetos.
What
Cheetos.
Cheetos.
He's fished with Cheetos. They'll eat it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Cheetos. How do you put a Cheeto on a hook? You got to chew it a little bit.
Yeah, you look so.
You got to wet. I mean,
like a bread dough,
Yeah,
you put the hook on it and you drop it up.
Yeah.
He does something.
That's funny. That's great.
I got into a mess of brim one time with crickets, and I ran out of crickets, so I had some Red Man chewing tobacco in my pocket, and I would pull a strand of chewing tobacco on and put it on there. It looks just like a little brown worm, and I throw it out there, and I caught fish on that. That's about the craziest thing I've ever used. Or
tastes like raisins.
Tastes like raisins.
That's the brims were thinking.
I've used bubble gum before.
Bubble gum.
Yeah, it doesn't fall off the hook.
For brim?
Yeah.
Okay,
I see that happening.
Look at that bologna for brim. Why would you waste a good piece of bologna, Brian, on brim, man? You like bologna?
Yeah.
I love bologna. All right, there you go. I don't know where that come from, but I like
bologna on the top of the hood and see what happens.
Put bologna on the top of a hood.
Yeah.
Oh, it lets it cook?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah. I had to sit there and think of that.
Think about
that. Because every time somebody says something like that, it's always a dirty joke or something that I don't get. Put the bologna on the hood. And I'm like, okay.
Blue waffle.
Roland Martin told me the helicopter lure was a spinnerbait, worm, buzzbait, and car insurance all in one lure. That's about right. You get on those things. But actually, all that my grandma had available, that's right. I love bologna. Now, honestly, though, if you go back and look at the banjo minnow and actually kind of pay attention, it is kind of like the precursor to the swim bait.
Yeah.
It is the precursor to the swim bait.
Is. Well, I mean,
it's
more of a fluke, though.
Think about when that came out. Kitech wasn't around, stuff like that. I mean, it was kind of, even though as gimmicky as that particular bait is, it is kind of leading into what a lot of us do fish with right now.
I just, it kills me that one guy that's on that video with the mustache and the Ranger hat on and the fishing jacket on. He's like, whoever the hell his name is, 1 over 300 bass tournaments. It's like, this is the best thing I've ever used. And it's like,
you reckon that was a paid promotion and all that
exactly.
like that?
But they had to throw it in there. It says has 1 over 300 bass tournaments.
Check out Tyler. Listen, so he actually broke down one night. It must have been a night of drinking or something, but he actually bought them. Y'all make fun of the banjo men or all you want. I caught the level ass out of some bass.
What is the level ass?
I don't know what that
mean.
is.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
I don't get that. Tyler,
Listen,
explain.
Tyler, I believe you caught fish on them, but you're going to have to explain to us what level ass is. I mean, I don't. Check out my peacock bass videos. There you go. Maybe
I love me some peacock bass videos.
we need to do that. I could show.
Okay.
some
You got
areas.
some holes down there?
That's what I guided for peacocks.
Oh, I thought you got it for like just bass.
No, I did saltwater for about 6 years, and then I decided to transition to the freshwater game. So I did, Okeechobee, and then once the spawn was over, the peacocks were just
So where did you fish for peacocks?
75 out of the alley from going from Southwest Florida to the other coast.
I would
East
love
and
to
West
catch.
Coast.
I would love to catch a peacock.
So you know what this sounds like to me? Sounds like an episode of an upcoming TV show
It
where we
sounds
take
like
a
it.
certain person down to Florida.
Yeah.
We tour the local area, breweries and restaurants, and we go catch peacock bass.
Someone with
do
some
it.
experience.
Okay,
We'll throw it to Adam.
I'll throw it
I'm
to
sure Adam will be all over it.
Yeah.
You're about to be on TV.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Hey, seriously, like that. Some crown
We can
colored.
go to
spoon.
Lake Ida, and then we can catch clown knife. We can catch the
Catch what?
The clown knife.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, dude, clown knives are so cool.
They're
What-
pretty cool looking.
Well, what is it?
Look it up.
I ain't got my phone right here. So what? what is a cloud knife? I've never heard of it.
Snakeheads.
Snakeheads, I've heard of.
I want to go throw horny toad for snakeheads because I heard
Peacock
they'll
bass
crush
are in
them.
that little area.
Florida has got a lot of crazy things in it.
They
I mean,
do.
it's a different state, dude, than a lot of places. I mean, you got your crazy ass snakes down there that eat people on the
Mhm.
bottom, and you got the iguanas falling out of the trees when it gets cold, and you got all kinds of fish that I've never heard of before.
We need to film an episode where we
Whoa.
go catch a bunch of peacocks and then go switch to saltwater and catch a bunch of red snook and trout.
Holy crap! They get that big.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a big fish,
That's a big
Yeah.
fish.
but it's invasive.
Yeah.
So
Is it
what?
from, it says from China,
Iguanas like clown knife.
Cambodia,
exotics.
Laos, Thailand, Vietnam, and China.
All right, check out this. We always look to Jeremiah for
Live to be
these.
15 years
Hey,
old.
look.
Yeah.
Hey.
Cool. They swim backwards.
Out of,
see?
that's what he
Do
said.
they really?
Look, Jeremiah, that's what I was going to read. The clown knife is the only fish that will literally swim backwards out of the net, too. They're crazy fish.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
So, hey, Ryan, what's your thoughts on the new horny toad?
The single tail one.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't thrown one. I don't plan on throwing one.
You're a tried and true. Once you like something, you're kind of stubborn on giving those
Man,
things up.
I've won a lot of money on horny tail.
You ever thrown a horny toad?
When they first came out, Zoom horny toads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You throw one up here.
that man lives by them.
You
Yeah.
throw one up.
They ain't but one color.
Skip dogs.
What, white?
That's it.
I knew it.
Yeah, it's one color. But okay, but listen, let's set that up because I mean we can get it to where
No, seriously, I'd like to go do that. I want to go catch peacock bass like on top water because I've seen all the videos of them like in the
It's crazy,
canals
it's
and there's
fun.
just it's like gadoosh.
how do you
it.
because Florida's got giant bass in it. So
Yeah.
how do you compare a peacock to a giant bass?
Probably fight 10 times harder, don't it?
I mean seriously,
It's like
for
a
somebody
spider.
that's never
They're like spots. They fight like spots. They fight like smallmouth. They're aggressive.
weigh
They
10
do the
pounds.
jumps and everything, and then when you get close to the boat, they keep going.
they're gonna do the runs and
Yeah, they
stuff
do the
like
run
that.
Things like spots.
But they
big
get
spots.
bigger, but they get on average bigger than largemouth.
No, heck no.
You
I
don't
mean,
think so?
largemouth get 10 plus. Now, there's not peacocks like that unless you go to
In
Amazon.
I guess.
Amazon, but not in Florida.
What's the biggest peacock? I mean, average in Florida, like when you would go on your trips.
3 to 4 pounds.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's still,
But it's-
that's
but it's
still stud though.
still-
Fun.
but it's like now. Do you use light tackle when you do that? Or I mean-
Yeah, I use about 10-pound braid and 10-pound fluorocarbon.
Wow,
Okay,
that's
so-
a fight.
Yeah.
yes, sir.
The Florida State record for peacock bass is 9 pounds, 11 ounces.
9 pounds, 11 ounces is the record. So that one was probably just in the perfect conditions with all the right food and
Mhm.
everything. But the average is, I mean, that's kind of like a spot around here. You know, most of them are 3, 4, 5 pounds, but you get the occasional unicorn that's 7, somewhere at 6, 7, like that. So that's interesting. I think we should set that trip up.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, some good places to eat down there, like some not chain restaurants, somewhere we can go film and stuff like that.
Yeah, I got some
some real food with some taste. Something that will make Ryan kind of cringe. I mean, I want some good weird stuff.
Anything but oysters.
We can go to Everglades City and eat down there.
Okay, you don't eat oysters?
I will not eat oysters.
Why?
Gator nuggets?
I will not. I'll eat gator. I've had gator
frog.
Plenty of times.
Yeah, frog.
Yeah, I've had frog.
You won't eat oyster?
I will not eat oyster.
Why?
Bad experience.
Yeah, but I mean,
bad experiences.
It's the same thing I say for dipping, though.
Same for dipping, though.
Yeah.
Listen, you just.
I'm gonna have to get my.
Listen, Danny's just looking for a reason to go to Miami. Absolutely, Everglades Fish Company and all that stuff. Man, you guys are actually filling my mind up with some good ideas that I've got. Because we spent
just catching up with Cam. Just come to Florida. We have plenty.
Hey, we will do it seriously like that. I mean, our Florida this year was over in Port St. Joe. The episodes that we filmed were on Port St. Joe.
You ever heard of Black's Island?
No.
We stayed on an island.
See, he didn't even know about
Black's Island is an island in Port St. Joe. So it's got like 26 villas, bungalows, or whatever. They're raised up about 10, 13 feet up because of the storms they do get occasionally down there. And it's in Port St. Joe. We caught down there. We didn't get on the. It's an island.
Cool.
Yeah. And so we're going to go back there, but of course that was our Florida trip this year. We stayed there for a week and filmed some episodes, but I want to get to the other side or down and in the bass world too, like that. But like peacocks and that crazy ass fish, what was
Cloud
that?
Knife.
Cloud knife and stuff.
Snakehead.
Snakehead. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Cool different color cichlids we can catch.
So the cool thing about the show is trying to catch species I've never caught and going places I've never been. So
peacock bass.
That is right
here we
there.
Come. And clown knives.
Catch a gator while you're here, dude. Listen, I'm all for it. We'll do whatever, but we got to get you eating oysters, man.
What about saltwater fishing? Have you ever caught fish saltwater? No.
Well, I mean, from the beach and then like Port St. Joe, but not like offshore.
Yeah.
I went one time. I puked for 4 hours.
I got a buddy that Tim Jones over at Matt Lachey, and I always recommend him to all my friends and stuff like that.
That even sounds like a good.
He takes this Florida skiff that drafts like 6 inches of water. And literally, you can see the mussels and the grass and the eelgrass all through the inshore fishing and the mangroves and stuff. He catches tons of reds, tons of snook. It's so much fun. That's something to consider.
Snook is a bucket list.
It's a blast.
Listen, listen. I'm for all of it.
By the looks of it, between Cam and between Kelly, and Rob,
there's bass.
I think we've got about 2 weeks worth of filming in Florida. Don't you think? I mean,
2 weeks.
2 weeks,
like
probably.
a couple of months. We could get down there. Got to get somebody to run the store up here. But yeah,
somebody run the store. We take volunteers.
I've got the tarpon trip. That's already in the books.
Do I go on that one?
I don't know yet. We'll see. So. I'll be going back to Colorado, and they want to talk about going to Alaska and stuff like that. So Louisiana.
That's a bucket list for me.
We're going. Yeah. But eventually, if the show does what we hope it does, we'll be going out of the country, like what Kelly was doing, going to the Amazon, stuff like that. We'll get down there and eat with some of the tribal people, huh?
She was just in Puerto Rico, not scuba diving in Puerto Rico, spearfishing.
We need to actually, meet her. She can take us and be on the show and kind of take us out because guys, it's going to be a really cool show. So right now, tentatively Waypoint spring of 23. So that's where it's scheduled right now to land. So this is going to be awesome. So you guys have given us some great ideas. But the problem with all this is it's not just a fishing show. It's an ecotourism show. So we go to these restaurants and eat things that we've never eaten before. And Ryan, you've got to if you're going to be on the show, you got to eat something other than a sandwich with just meat and cheese and no mayonnaise and stuff. You got to eat some stuff.
You do. Shut up.
Like cow brains.
How about fried calamari or fried oyster?
I kind of thought when I was on Black's Island, I ate cow brains. Now that was interesting and stuff.
I would eat that. Yeah.
They took a head of a cow. We put a pig in the ground. They took a head of a cow. So we got a pig. We had a pig in the ground, some meat on ice and all that stuff. But we had a pig in the ground, and they took a cow head and they boiled it, and we ate cheek meat tacos. We took the tongue, ripped it open, ate beef tongue tacos, and then Guillermo said, "Man, you got to eat the brains." Guillermo, most interesting man I've ever met. And he gave me a spoon, and they just turned the cow head over, and I stuck it right in. It goes like ice cream. And I pulled out some white paste, and down she went.
No way.
Yeah, it didn't taste bad. It didn't taste good. It's like sticking a big wad of paste in
I
your
just
mouth.
want to come meet that cockatoo or whatever it was too.
Yeah, that crazy ass cockatoo that cusses you every time you went by. Huh?
Ryan, would you eat iguana?
Yes, I would try iguana. I've
It tastes
heard.
like chicken.
I've heard. That's what I've heard. It tasted like chicken.
I got a buddy down south that he gets paid a stupid amount of money to go and do iguana hunting.
I would love to go iguana hunting. I know we're not talking fishing right now, but I would love to go iguana hunting.
Either one of those pellet guns or a bow, crossbow.
Yeah.
I would love to bow hunt iguanas.
He's one of my good friends. Could you see me and you walking through the Florida underbrush with pellet guns?
I could. I ate cow brains in Texas. It's the gland in the back of the head. And it was good, but I can't do it again. It was a little bit different. I just stuck I just stuck a spoon in the mouth.
Some shrapnel.
I got some shrapnel because when I stuck the spoon in my mouth.
So they shot it in the head.
Yeah, I was like,
they left the bullet in the head.
They pulled out I was pulling out bone fragments.
Exactly.
I pulled out some bone fragments, and Guillermo's brother goes, "Oh man, hey, let me show you." And he flips that thing around. There's a big old hole in the forehead where they shot the cow. So it just blew crap all in there. So catching up with Cam's got an iguana video. You guys
listen. I'm about to be subscribing to you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. So seriously, here's the deal. We're a couple of fat country boys from up here in North Georgia, and we will go do anything for to put it on TV and stuff like that. So we got to hook up with you two guys. No, excuse me, you guy and gal. Like that, but it would be that would be fun. But
yeah, I ain't the only one. We got Adam Savage and Tyler. They're both like, hell no.
Y'all are wimps. It's nothing. But it was on camera. I had to do that.
I know. I understand.
Alcohol was involved, but it's one of those things.
It's always a plus.
It's always a plus. That's the
great.
one knife margaritas.
I might have to not take my metformin.
Guillermo. Yeah, you would have to. Yeah. Guillermo was crazy, dude.
Get twisted. I might eat anything.
He would take his knife. And we'd be out there on the dock. We're going to be fishing with shrimp. He's cutting up your bait and all that stuff like that. He sticks it back in his sheath. And then you get into the kitchen, and he's got all his stuff cooking. And he never washes his knife. He pulls it straight out and goes to chopping up peppers and onions and your fish and everything. And he puts it back in the sheath, and you're just sitting there watching. Next thing you know, he's making margaritas the old-fashioned way. He pulls that knife out, and he's stirring it with it. That joker never, ever washed his knife.
You're still here, so why does it matter?
Oh, listen, I enjoyed every bit of it.
But that's what I'm saying.
He goes.
People say sanitation.
No, what he goes? People are weak, man.
I love that.
Because people are weak.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, people are weak, man. And that's exactly what he said. Man.
Then he said he woke up one morning and get out there, and he's like, right at the crack of dawn, getting out there, and he hears something run through the woods, and it's squealing and stuff like that. And then he hears a quack, and it's Guillermo underneath him, and he's got a rabbit. He chased the rabbit down.
So no, they
ran the rabbit down and chopped its head with the knife.
They had rabbits and chickens and stuff on this island that have been there for ages. And so the people that, and when I say people that live on the island, there's a few people that work there, and every once in a while they'll kill a chicken and cook it. They did that while we were down there. But that one morning, I heard the gunshot first. You're up on that elevated platform and you're walking, you hear pow, and I was like, and it was this god awful, just screech, and I'm like,
right, you got some noises going.
I got my coffee up, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And I walk over to the edge, and I start hearing what he's saying, that thump. He didn't have a knife. He had that big stick.
Oh, stick. Yeah,
he got the rabbit by the back of the ears. He made a bad shot, and he's just beating it, trying to kill that rabbit. And I just looked down and went, morning, Guillermo, and just kept on walking. And he's just beating it. And they ate that rabbit later on that night like that. So it was interesting. Things you get to see like that. All right, but listen, hey, let's get back on the fishing and all that.
It's fun.
It is fun. We're having a good time.
It's fishing related.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah, it is there. So, what is Robert going to be, concentrating on, fishing locally? You said before, you're not sure about, your future plans, but like if you're just fun fishing and stuff, which a lot of guys that watch us do, what are you going to be kind of concentrating on when you get back out on the water? I guess it would be Notley, Carter's, those kind of lakes like that.
I'm going to go to Notley. I'll fish Lanier more. Now that they announced a 6th stop over Lake Lanier for MPFL. So if I do MPFL next year, the last stop.
Oh, Lanier is a stop on it. Okay.
So
that's right.
That's interesting.
So I got to put some time in. I know it'll be about a year from now, but be a good time.
When you going?
When
is it?
I think it's in October.
What's the normal off limits for one of those tournaments?
20 days before.
20 days before. But you can practice all year up until then.
And I can get information until I sign a contract. So.
That's right. Once y'all sign the contract, though, you cannot get it. You can go find out on your own, but you can't get information.
About the information thing, it's funny because like I should be gathering all kinds of information on all these lakes, but I just haven't had a chance. I have too much pride to go ask people about information. You know, like I got to figure it out myself. I feel like that's just cheating in a way.
But you know what happens?
It does happen.
It does happen. If I came up,
happened this year on a different circuit.
If I came up to you, say you sign your contract, and you come up here to show, and I'm talking to Ryan about Lake Lanier, but you're not participating in that conversation, but you're overhearing it. Is that information?
Public information.
That's public information at that point.
Yes.
But if I look over to you and say, hey, listen, on Lake Lanier right now, they're biting a rock crawler in Rocky Points. That's that crosses that line. Crosses the line. That's really tough to. But that's tough to police, though, is it not?
It is tough to police, but like the whole information thing, like let's say you give me information like in March.
Yeah.
For October, or you say the fishing's hot right now in March. Like that's not going to mean anything in October. It's going to be totally different. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the information you give me now for that specific month, it's not going to mean anything when I compete in October. So like that's why I find information hard. Is that like?
But is that technically against the rules?
That is technically against the rules.
But it has nothing to do. Will not help you in October.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just don't see how you police that.
Yeah. And
it's an honor system, I'm sure.
And it is an honor system. And I can tell you what, this year, I know there's a lot of people that got information. And it's not just the NPFL, it's not the elites and everything. Some people just didn't get polygraphed. Some people get away with it. Some people don't. But people get information. They just do.
Yeah, I just don't see
how it on the grapevine.
Rob is one of the most honest guys in the league like that. So I mean that's a good thing. But again, you know what I'm trying to say is that it's almost impossible to police that. You have to be really egregious to get caught.
Yeah.
Like that. So so why don't they just tweak it? I mean, you're exactly right. If I tell you Lanier is hot in March and what they're hitting on, it's not going to be the same in October.
It isn't. No.
So why wouldn't they, and this is just me kind of thinking, why wouldn't they just say, hey, look, no information September and October? Or September, August, September. I can understand that, but you're absolutely right. So I mean, what is it about a league that won't let you? I mean, I'm not talking about the NPFL specifically, but leagues that feel like, hey, the conversation. Let's say somebody was watching this.
Yeah,
you're on contract, and I say, well, and I say they're hitting rock crawlers right now because that's what we're talking about. And the league comes down on you as you're getting information. I mean, that just to me doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
all of them like that.
A lot of people will keep it quiet. I mean, they obviously before the show happened, we talked about things not to talk on and off the show and stuff.
Yeah.
So, that's just something that we talk about that we don't have to bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the information do. Yeah.
That's
I know.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure
it is. Yeah.
If you could make one change in your fishing that you from last year to this year, something you really struggled with, what would it be?
I should have utilized my electronics a lot more.
So you didn't utilize it as much.
I didn't like the last tournament of the year in Kissimmee, Florida. That's my bread and butter.
Yeah.
I fish Florida style. I actually purposely took all my electronics off my boat. Okay. And just put my head down and flipped and punched and did the Florida natural way.
Right.
And guess what it was one on? Forward facing sonar.
So what was the difference? What were they seeing that you weren't?
I was fishing more tight in grass and stuff like that. So, using electronics, you just don't really need to do that.
Right.
And a lot of these guys, like Taylor Watkins, that one, and he was in Kissimmee and he was in the outside edge. He was forward facing sonar off the lily pads, off the pads, and seeing fish go by, and he was casting at them. That's how he won it.
So to do it all over again, you would have
I would have done it. I would have used my forward facing sonar. I was too stubborn. I knew that's the way to have won it, but I love fishing my certain style. And when I got a chance to do it in Florida, I wanted to do it and take advantage of it.
Right.
But going into day 3, I knew it was a little too late to possibly get a check and move up. So I stuck with my style. But if I were to do it all again,
you would have used the electronics.
Especially all year long, I would have used my electronics more.
All right. So there's Mr. Veneer Bates and all that. What's Harmon's wife's name again?
Happy birthday, Lynn.
That's right. Happy birthday to Miss Lynn. Yeah. And Paul is sick. He doesn't have COVID. So that's good for that. But yeah, he's under the weather tonight. So Nathan is actually running the board for us tonight and all that like that. So, that's kind of interesting. I would have used them more. Now, what is the biggest, let's say, positive gain that you learned from the MPFL in those tournaments last year?
How I got my butt kicked all year.
Well, listen, there's something to be learned in getting your butt kicked.
And it is, it was a hard transition.
You'll have a good time,
got
David.
my rear end kicked,
Yep.
but at the same time, I learned more than I ever learned in my life fishing. And this year, fishing the MPFL with all the ups and downs, than I learned my whole life.
Right.
In just 1 year.
Yeah.
And
which was your goal?
Which was my goal.
Right.
And I tell you what, going into next year, I'm a lot better fisherman than I am now because I learned how those ups and downs go.
That's probably
the transitioning of the seasons, the cycles.
Yeah. So
learning experiences.
Yeah.
That. Now I know what not to do next time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So but you're going in with a lot more confidence.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's a brand new lake you've never fished, just based upon last year's experiences and stuff like that. That's kind of smart. I mean, I get that completely. You go in there and you but sometimes I tell people this. Sometimes you can get as much information by what didn't work as what did work.
Yeah.
You can, going in I don't know, maybe you had a tournament where you were like, I'm going to commit to the jerk bait or something like this. And now you can say, hey, I probably should have done this. The jerk bait in that situation didn't work. And then when you come up to a tournament this year and you're in that same situation, you've got that data stored. I tried this before, or at least you might try it again, but you won't stick with it as long. You won't
stick with that as long. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing this year too. Catching fish in a specific bait and you grind 2-3 hours goes by, you're not catching anything.
Right.
And I'm not going to change because this is what I've been catching on. It's, those opportunities that I look back and I gain now all that knowledge not to make those mistakes again.
Yeah. I mean, that's really interesting. That's a really interesting take on it. Of all the lakes you fished last year, what was your favorite? And for what reason?
Man, my favorite lake this year, you would say the one that I got a check on in Saginaw. That was an absolute blast. But I think my favorite lake, and I would love to go back, is Watts Bar. I really love that lake.
Okay, and why?
The scenery, for one. 2, the you can catch largemouth, smallmouth, spots. There's different varieties. You can go shallow and catch them shallow. You can go deep. You have all sorts of different ways to catch them. You can throw a frog. You can flip. You can throw a jig, chatterbait.
Let me ask you this question. When you go to a lake like Watts Bar and it's got those 3 species, being a Florida guy, do you have largemouth on your mind first?
100% because of the bigger fish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if you know that, smallmouth might win this tournament.
Yeah.
What won it on Watts Bar? Do you remember?
It was largemouth.
Largemouth.
Maybe a mixed bag. I know on day 1 and day 3, I brought in a mix of mixed bags.
Now, Watts Bar, is that Tennessee?
Yeah.
Okay, so is that same as Chickamauga where 18-inch minimum on a smallmouth?
Yes, sir.
So that's statewide up there like that?
Yeah, I think it was 12, 15, and 18.
12,
15,
18. 14, and 18.
Watts Bar is a great lake. Ramps suck, but great lake. Did you notice this on all the Tennessee lakes that the ramps were all really steep?
Yeah. Cumberland was the worst.
Oh, my goodness.
That place was part of my speech. I couldn't stand that lake.
Listen, every lake we go to in Tennessee, and this from my experience, the places that we've been, the ramps are all just absolutely straight up and down. In
January, going to pre-practice in Cumberland, I head there and I get caught in a snowstorm a couple days before cutoff date, and I got stuck backing down my boat on the ice ramp.
Oh yeah,
and I purposely had to get stuck because I would have seen my boat and my truck go directly under, in that boat, the boat ramp.
Oh yeah.
So I had to call AAA. They pulled me out. Then the next day I couldn't even leave because I got
snowed in. Right, absolutely.
And yeah, it was that's when I realized I got to get a 4-wheel drive truck.
You have one now?
Now I have one. Yeah.
Now you have one like that. So, and you'll experience that on some of these North Georgia lakes, especially if you're fishing a tournament in February, January, stuff like that. Guys, a lot of clubs will bring the kitty litter or the snow ice or snow salt, stuff like that, because people start pulling out. They don't let their boats kind of drain a little bit. And that next thing you know, that ramp is just a sheet of ice. But that's just something I noticed about the Tennessee lakes. All right. So Watts Bar was your favorite. What was the your least favorite lake? Not so much the tournament, but the lake itself.
Lake Erie. I think it's the worst lake in the world.
Lake Erie.
I hate that lake. It is. That place sucked.
I'm supposed to go
every minute of it. I mean,
yeah,
I was excited. I mean, I got the goosebumps heading there. I'm going to catch a bunch of smallmouth. Dude, it was rough all 3 days of practice. It was rough all 3 days of tournament.
And it's a different kind of rough.
Yeah, and it's like a washing machine.
Yeah.
You got waves crashing on each and every end of the boat. I lost a unit, my GoPro. I was a miserable human being.
Is that one of them tournaments you see where the boat's just doing this the entire day, up and down? I would puke.
Well, it's because it's a combination of.
Do what now?
Were you flocking on Lake?
Hey, yeah. Did you flock? Did you get one of them daggone?
No, because they were embedding. They were catching them deep.
You know what? This shows my ignorance. The first time I saw that on TV or whatever, I had no idea what the hell that guy was doing.
I was wondering what they were doing.
I was like, "Good Lord, dude!" He's done it. It looked like one of those things that they put to make you go around road construction.
I thought it was a pooper thing. You go back of the boat and poop.
Go back. I didn't know what it was. I was
looking at his, looking at his poop going down the water.
Yes, the 5-pounder. I was like, I had no idea what the guy was doing.
5-inch dirt.
Now we're supposed to go, and maybe Ryan, you get to go on this, and we're supposed to go film an ice fishing episode on one of the Great Lakes.
Nice. Which one?
Hell, I don't know. They're all the same to me. I don't know, but one of them.
Can I go for that one, please?
I don't know. Maybe you can. We'll see what all. But that's we get to go sit in the shanty or whatever and drink the beer with a hole in the ice.
That is
and
cool.
We'll see how that works.
Watch the flag.
Watch the flag race.
One thing I did that I was blessed to have done this year was to get to fish 3 out of the 5 Great Lakes. I got to fish Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, Lake Huron.
Yeah,
and that was pretty cool.
But you hate Erie.
Oh, that place sucked.
Well, how did the other two compare to Erie?
Saginaw was fun. I mean, it was rough, but it wasn't like I can get around the areas and get myself away from the wind. Like Erie, once you got off that point off the main, and you're going out in the main lake, it was just like,
I mean, there's like tankers and stuff sinking them lakes and stuff.
The thing is, I had an area day one. I found fish in the Detroit River, and it took me over 2.5 hours to get there, and because I had to stop, get gas. Finally got to fish. It was 10 o'clock. Fished till about 1 o'clock. And had to drive another 2 hours back to Wade. Yeah, did you have to stop and get gas on the way back too? That's insane. And I had a decent day, but I just didn't want to make that run 2 more days in a row and beat my boat to death and beat myself to death. For what? To fish 2-3 hours? I was already out of the money. So I was like, I stayed close at that point. Yeah.
So, I mean, think about that. Sometimes people fuss about coming out of Laurel Park on Lanier, going down to the dam. What a run. But you were 2 hours. When you run and you got to stop and fill up, and then keep running to your spot and then fill up on the way back to get back to weigh in. That's a long run.
Yeah, it was tiring. I was beat up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's insane like that. Okay, so if you do fish the NPFL next year, what are the lakes that are on it? You said Lanier. Do you know what's the rest of the lakes on that schedule?
First one's Lake Amistad Reservoir in Del Rio, Texas. The next one is Wright Patman. I believe the inaugural season of NPFL, they went to Wright Patman, and I think it took like almost 70 pounds for 3 days. Keith Carson won that. It was pretty cool lake. They caught a bunch of top water and moving bait, so that's kind of like more my style. Third stop is over in Sandy Cooper in South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Then we go back to Michigan, Saginaw, probably a couple weeks after.
Saginaw seems to be a pretty popular stop on a lot of the trails.
It is a lot of fun. It is cool.
So it's just a cool place to fish, good fishing.
Yeah, because you can go offshore and catch a smallmouth, but then you can go in the marshes and throw top water and catch 2-3 pounders, largemouth all day long. I mean, I caught 200-300 fish through that whole week. It was insane. And to catch
have some
top
fun
water,
with that.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's right up your alley right there.
And the water was crystal clear.
Really?
Crystal clear. Which made it so much more fun because you can see him just come up,
and just nail it.
Yeah,
he's doing your things. Ask Rob if he will ever boat out to the Charity Islands again.
Never.
Okay, so explain to those that are watching What the
Charity Island. So Charity Island is an island that's Lake.
No, James, we're not
Saginaw
smarting off
Bay
at you,
in
buddy.
Lake Huron.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's like right in the middle of Lake Huron, or in Saginaw Bay before it gets out to Lake Huron. And day 3 of practice, I ran out there to Charity Island because that's typically where everybody goes and catches smallmouth on beds and stuff like that. You know, and it's where they flock and. You know,
flock
or whatever.
What are you doing? I'm flocking. Flogging. Oh,
flogging.
Flogging. I'm flogging.
So, yeah, I went out there to Charity Island, and then the wind got so bad, and I rode myself back. It took me an hour and a half to get back, and there were 6-footers out there. And
dude,
like when you go up and you go down, you can't see anything but water.
How'd you like to be the cameraman on those boats?
That would suck.
They're having to stay because I mean, a good camera guy has got that monitor on it, so you're trying to watch that monitor, keeping it like that. That would be as bad as trying to fish on that.
Yeah,
that's insane. So, all right, guys. Hey, listen, we're about an hour and 45 minutes in, and so seemed like a good time to call it a night to you. It's up to you because like Rob is going to. You like Rob or Robert?
Either or.
Either or. Okay, so either or is going to be back. Now Rob's going to be back. I guess y'all talk next few episodes. You gonna come hang out with us and stuff like that. And we'll get some another guest. There is a possibility that next week we'll have a film crew in here filming that and all that. So it's a good time. You guys kind of pay attention to that. There is a possibility that next Thursday, the guys from Super Chief and I will be down here filming, and we might be doing a pre-Livewell party. We might, I don't know, cook a Boston butt or something out there and shred it up, something like that. So
come see us.
Come see us, and might even get to be on camera. You never know like that. So, but the crew should be here, weather depending on some of those things like that. But yeah, I don't want to wear him out the first night if he's going to be here for a few. You know, we got a lot of conversation to catch up on, stuff like that. So it's absolutely good to see you, and I'm glad. I hope you get your remodeling project done.
Oh yes,
you know,
it's
like
almost
that.
done. A couple more weeks.
All right, let's read Harmon's comment real quick, because he took a group up to St. Clair, pitching the drop shot and then using his magic swimmer up there, Seville style bait up there at clear water, and you could see those brown rockets coming from a mile away. Like that. They had a good trip. They posted a lot of pictures on Facebook and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely.
What time of the year was that?
Harmon, before I sign off, tell me what time of the year that was. It was
in May or June.
Yeah, it was early summer.
Yeah.
Early summer they went up there.
That's the best time.
Absolutely. So I mean they caught they went up there, they were testing one of his new baits and stuff like that, but they were posting some impressive fish catches up there, and just like over and over and over, just like kind of like what you were saying. You went up there. Was that the same place where you caught? No, St. Clair. June. Okay, it was June. Where were you when you said you caught like 200 fish? that Saginaw. Okay.
Lake Huron.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's awesome. But with that, hey, first I want to congratulate Amy Aldred and all of the females that joined us tonight to try to win the For Her Apparel giveaway. That was pretty cool. Amy got the right question.
We'll be doing it again next month.
We will be doing that every month like that. And we want to thank Miss Jennifer and Peyton and all those over at For Her Apparel for that fine thing. And again, January 15th is the date that I can tell you about what's coming down the road. So I got to keep my mouth shut for another month and a week like that. But again, thanks to all our sponsors, Buford Dam Bait and Tackle, For Her, Red Bobber, Jason Sayers with Elite Landscape and Pressure Washing, J&S Contracting, and of course, Rachel Collins with 400homes.com. Again, guys, make sure you check out the Patreon. Again, that's our subscription service where Ryan is doing some of the lessons and stuff like that. We'll be doing some late breakdowns with the map and stuff like that. And all our one-on-one podcasts from here on out will be on that. You guys check that out. If you're on the water this weekend, which we'll be on Lanier this Saturday, the store will be closed. We've got tournaments this weekend. So if you're out on the water this weekend, make sure that you're safe. Enjoy the time out there. Supposed to rain tomorrow. So, hey, come see us here at the shop. And again, Rob, thank you for coming down. It's always fun when you come in. It's always some good entertainment and information. You speak well on a microphone. It makes our job a lot easier. Harmon said they had 250 plus one day.
I believe.
I mean, it can be done like that. So that's one of them days. So again, all of you, hey, especially if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, click that notification bell. You guys have yourself one hell of a weekend. Stay safe. We're going to live fish next. We might not live fish next week because we'll be filming.
Yeah.
We might not do the live fishing.
Only reason we didn't live fish. Me and Sal Pinto were going to go this past Tuesday, but
it was raining when you got up. Yeah, it just didn't look like a good day.
I can't film when it's raining.
That's right. So we couldn't do that. But again, we'll be back next Thursday night. Rob, you going to be here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Rob will be here. We'll have another guest in studio with us. You guys have a great weekend. We appreciate everything you do, and have a great time. See you.
See you guys.
Awesome.